Hi everyone, Jeri Bellini here. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you how I'm making my yo-yos with the Clover Yo-Yo Maker kits. Now I did purchase all 5 sizes because I thought why not? I might have some fun with some of the other sizes, but I am predominantly using the 1-inch one. So we'll focus on that for the moment. So I have this. I have cloth, I have some thread conditioner, I have a chain nose or needle nose plier in case my needle gets stuck. You'll need a Sharpie marker, a pair of sharp scissors, and needles. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is cut your cloth into strips. Now I'm doing this assembly line. I do everything like that because I enjoy it. It's a methodical process for me. So I cut all my cloth into strips 3 inches long, and then I cut those strips into 3-inch squares. Now, not only did I do that, I also stuck with a particular colorway. So I have a stack here. I don't even know how many are in here. It's probably at least 10 of all blues. And that's because I was using thread to match this. I have since switched over to using dark gray and light gray thread. And that was thanks to a subscriber that commented and said, you know, you don't see the thread at all. You can use the gray. So that's what I started doing. So once I have my squares cut out, I take my sandpaper circle, which is 3 inches for this 1-inch thing. And even though there's a lot of cloth there, I have my Ginger scissors, which are amazing. They'll cut anything. And I cut around this circle. And it doesn't move because it's sandpaper. Now, it doesn't matter if it moves a tiny bit because the really wonderful thing about this project is that, and using this Clover yo-yo maker, is that you can always trim it after the fact. I don't want, so here, and I keep this. I don't want to. I'm trying to make this effortless. So I found that this 3-inch circle fits this unit almost exactly perfectly. And it does give me a little bit of a bigger seam allowance than maybe some of you would like, but I haven't found it to be a problem. All right, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I have several needles threaded up always in a pincushion with nothing else in the pincushion besides the needles I'm going to be using. And I do have a big needle with a big eye that I use at the end, and I'll show you that. So the first thing you're going to do is mark your tool. And there's 3 lines on this thing, and just pick one of the lines. It doesn't matter which one. Just pick one of the lines and put the Sharpie marker there. This piece of the equipment or tool, whatever you want to call it, has these little nubs on the outside, and there's 3 of them. So just doesn't matter which one, pick one and put the Sharpie marker on it so that these 2 things can line up when you're making the yo-yos. That needs to happen so that you can get your needle in and out of these spaces. It will make sense to you in a minute. All right, I like the beeswax, but you can also use Thread Heaven or any one of the thread conditioners that are on the market. The beeswax tends to, when you run your needle and thread through there, it tends to join the 2 threads together, making it feel like there's only one thread, and it just feels better when you're stitching. So let's start this. You lay your tool down, and it's kind of an indentation on one side, so that goes down. You lay it down on your circle and try to get it in the middle, and you can see that I'm going to have a nice seam allowance, but not too much. And then you grab the top piece, and what I do, so I'm sitting on the sofa when I'm making this, I kind of come at this, I'm exaggerating it like this from the bottom up, so that as I'm coming towards it, I can see that the black things are going to line up. So as soon as I get close enough, I start to put the bottom in, and I double check. I have a little wiggle room. I double check to make sure I'm in the right spot. And then this, I hope you heard that, that pops in. Now, I'm not always exactly precise. You see I have a little bit more of a seam here than I do on here. You want to make sure you can at least see the cloth. And sometimes I will go back and I'll just trim this a hair, but most of the time I'm pretty well, I'm pretty much spot on, and I don't have to do any trimming. Okay, and then I'm ready to start stitching. So now I have a whole bunch of needles over here, and I try to thread my needles. I'm going to use the light gray so that I can get at least 3 yo-yos stitched with it. So it's the length. So now I'm using a short length right now because of doing this video. So you want to put your finger and hold your cloth down and come up in the very first, it's like a smile, looks like a smile. So you're going to come up on the right side of the smile. I'm right-handed, so I'm going that way to the left. So I come up, and I don't want to pull this all the way through. Thread is cheap. It's not a big deal. I just hold it down with my finger, and I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to take a few movements at once, go up and down, and then I'm going to pull this through. Okay, so now I can let go of my tail. It's not going to go anywhere. The wax is helping it kind of stay in the cloth, and this 2 stitches I took are going to help too. Keep your finger down so that your thread goes over. If you let go of the cloth under there, if you just sew it willy-nilly, you're going to get these pinches. So keep your finger down and make sure you're not going back in the same hole you came out of. Make sure you're coming out of the right side of the smile, okay, and up and down. Okay, now you see what's involved when you do 1 stitch at a time. You're pulling on the thread. So that's why, because I'm doing this assembly line and I'm trying to do it a little quicker, I'm going up and down. I'm going up and down. And remember to keep your finger on the cloth so it doesn't get pinched. And you can go at least 2. Let's call them smiles. Keep calling them smiles. You can do at least 2 smiles. Now, just be careful. If you come back up in the same hole that you just went down in, when you make your stitch, you're going to go across the top. You don't want to see any stitches on the top of this tool. They're all on the bottom. You're basting is what you're doing with the help of this handy tool. Now, some people say, well, why? I don't need that tool. I can make my yo-yos without it, and that's great, and I think it's wonderful. You can do that. The tool makes your stitches extremely even, and so it will make your yo-yos pleat very evenly. If you don't care about that, then just go for it and make your yo-yos without the tool. Not a big deal. I just found that the tool just made my life easier. So now I got all the way around. Hopefully you can see that. I got all the way around. I came out, I'm under here, but I come out this hole. So there's a space, right? There's a space. So some people are going into the next, going up and coming out same place where they left off. I am not doing that. I just leave it right there and I just cut it. Okay, this is still in front of me on my lap with this piece facing me. So now I've got 2 little strings here. So now I just quick pop it. I don't even turn it over. I just pop it out. Now I turn it over and just pull this out. Take these 2 strings, put my thumb in there, And once I get it started, I can take my thumb out. Now, sometimes this last little bit between these two strings kind of pops up. I just open it up like that, and I do a little quick finger press. And then I go back and pull this. Okay, I just pull it. I just do that. Now what that does, and then I stop, then I throw it in a box. What this does is it kind of is preparing the little yo-yo to get used to that fold. I know that sounds crazy. I don't know how else to explain it, but it almost like finger presses it for you. Okay, and so now I just throw them all into a box. When I'm all finished, or when I'm sick to death of doing what I just did and I need a break from that, I take them out and see, I just run my finger through the two of them, and now I tie a knot. And you have to be careful that when you tie the knot, you're not catching the cloth in there. Just tie the knot. I just squeeze it until I like the way it looks. And I do 3 knots, believe it or not, because, believe it or not, 3 knots, because I don't want them to fall apart. Okay, did I do 3? I don't even know, I lost track. So now I just pull these together using a very sharp scissors to get a nice clean cut. I cut the ends off. Now I grab my big eye needle. Yes, it's thick. Okay, just get those 4 strands threaded in the needle, and then you can see where, you probably can't see, but you can see where the thread is coming from in that yo-yo. So I take my needle and I just aim and shoot, and do that. Sometimes I have to push it down on the table, but that's why I also have this handy, and pull it through. Release the needle, put it back in my pincushion. I keep it always right there handy because the dogs lay with me. I don't want them to eat it. And then I trim this off. Okay, wiggle it around, and you have a yo-yo. Okay, I'm very happy with it. And I can make like 50 of them in one night, which is good because I have those prosperity hens I have to make kits for. We had hundreds of yo-yos and we ran out of them. So, all right, that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And remember, keep moving. Just play, no rules. And remember to find something to be grateful for each and every day. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.